So I want to thank everyone that's watching me, wherever you're watching me from. Let me get this here. I truly appreciate y'all, wherever you're watching me from. I really, really appreciate it. Wait for everybody to get up in here. Again, salute to everybody that's watching me. I truly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. 1 second, folks. I'm just sharing the show, making sure that everybody needs to know tonight. Listen, we're going to talk about this loss to the Broncos. 515-602-9639. Again, please call in. I love talking to y'all. I understand people are going to be upset. I'm upset as well about the loss, but please do not call into my show cursing or I'm going to get you up out of here. I'm telling you. I'm not going to let, a bunch of people drop bombs on my show. Don't do that. Do not do that. Please don't do that. Please do not do that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, if you want to call in, it's 515-602-9639. You can call in right now. You won't be on hold. You know what I'm saying? So, I really would love for everybody to call in. What's up? Buckets, what's going on? Good to see you. John, what's going on? Salute to you. Again, welcome all y'all to the stream. Cliff Hopkins, what's going on? Cliff Hopkins says, what's going on, Joe? Back at it again with you. Let's go. I'm back. I'm telling you. Cliff, I'm back. But I'm going to get into the show really, really quickly. Let me go ahead and put myself on mute real quick, and I'll be right back, folks.
Three, two, one. Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? Your boy Long Beach Joe, back at it again. Boy, what a loss that we suffered to the Broncos. Broncos just absolutely took care of business. I mean, it was completely crazy. We gave up so many points. The backup quarterback seemed to look like he was Joe Montana out there just whipping the ball around. We gave up a lot of big plays, had a lot of defensive penalties. I mean, just things just fell apart for us. Just absolutely fell apart for us down the stretch. But I can't wait to talk to all of you folks. So again, please call in 515-602-9639. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, type in Long Beach Joe, like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave us some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the show because I'm trying to be fired up. I am fired up to be here talking to everybody, but it just sucks being a fan. But I tell you what, I'm fired up right now. I'm fired up, guys. I'm fired up. So listen, look, this team right now just blew me away. This game blew me away. It started out, Sam looked solid. He was rolled out the pocket. Was able to break some tackles on a broken play, shrugged off a couple guys, was able to get, I think it was a 46-yard run down for a touchdown. So we were all excited. We were saying to ourselves, hey, Sam's looking good. Even though it was a broken play, the offense got rolling. We got a score early. And then things just kind of fell apart after that. It was just nothing else going on. I mean, it was completely crazy. Like the defense just fell apart. They couldn't get things going. It was penalty after penalty. The offense just stuttered in the red zone. I mean, it was awful. The play calling was awful. Pierre Desir was getting beat constantly, even though he got an interception. Then he got us another interception later on in the game, ran that back for a pick six. We were in the game. Then guess what? Adam Gase calls a bonehead two-point conversion play that was awful. That play call was completely terrible. And so that didn't work. And then from then on, we just gave up big plays, and we just found ourselves at the end of the day not being able to match the Broncos' intensity down the stretch, and we lost the game. They gave up a big play late to Melvin Gordon Israel for a big run for a touchdown. It was like we just couldn't get out of our own way, man. We just couldn't get out of our own way. And the play calling again, the coaching from Adam Gase yet again was horrific. It was horrific. I just do not understand at this point. What is the point of still having this guy here? Why is he still the head coach of the New York Jets? I don't understand it at all. I don't get it. And for the Johnsons, or for their reports coming out, as well as the Johnsons coming out saying that there will be no change at the head coaching position, it just absolutely is a gut punch to the rest of the fan base. I mean, it's giving the team, it's giving the fans no hope. There's going to be no change. And we all know that the grand scheme of things, this is big time affecting Sam Darnold. You could see it in his face after the press conferences after the game. You could see how just beat down he is, how tired of everything he is. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. But before we get into this game, I want to go to something really quickly that really affects me, something I'm big a part of, and that's breast cancer awareness. This year, I've partnered with the Susie G. Komen Foundation, and we're bringing the fight to breast cancer. We're doing whatever we can. I'm donating as well. I've started a GoFundMe, or a fundraiser page, for Susie G. Komen as well, which is all over my social media. And we're bringing the fight to it. And so I want to bring a guest on. Her name is Alina Clavel. She's going to come on and she's going to talk to us about her experience with cancer, and she's going to tell her story. So I'm going to have her on. Alina, I want to welcome you to the show.
Hi, Joseph. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, again, I want to welcome you to the Long Beach Joe Show. I'm excited to speak to you. Everyone else is excited to hear from you as well, and for you to tell us your story and share, your triumphant, win against breast cancer. My first question for you, though, is can you tell us about your diagnosis and how you received it?
Sure, yeah. I was young, so I actually, I'm going to just lead you up into the diagnosis just so you have a better understanding, and kind of like to give a little bit more awareness to women or people who are younger and not knowing what to look for. Mm-hmm. So November 2014, I was sick. I had bronchitis, and I had lost about 7 to 10 pounds that month. So I think that helped. I kind of knew something was going on with my body. I didn't feel like myself, besides the bronchitis. But on Christmas morning, 2014, I felt a lump in my breast. I had a little tickle on the side under my armpit, and I felt a lump. Surprisingly, I had just done a self-exam, probably a couple months sooner, because I found one of my grandma's old door stoppers, and it had ways of showing you how to lay on the bed and feel for your lumps. Mm-hmm. So just for fun, I kind of just did that. I didn't feel anything at the time, and then I was so surprised to feel it that day. That day I went over to my tia's house, and she has cystic breast, so we kind of just swept it under the rug and just assumed it was something similar. But I had just got hired on at my job, and my insurance just kicked in. So I have the type of personality that I worry too much, and that was something that was constantly on my mind. And I know my body, and I knew that something was different with my body. I didn't have energy. I felt exhausted. So I went through with the doctor's appointment, and my primary care physician, she did acknowledge the fact that she had some concerns, and so she sent me to go get an ultrasound. And when I got the ultrasound technician told me, gave me 90 to 95% chance that it was not cancer. I was too young, and we kind of talked about my family history. We didn't get too in depth, but it was something like, it's not common. I haven't seen it in my family, so it's probably something not to worry about. But the type of personality I have, again, I worry. So I asked a lot of questions, and one of the questions I asked him was, what did he see that made him feel that it was 90 to 95% chance not cancer, and why did he leave himself a 5 to 10% chance for error? And he told me that what he saw, what he explained to me was complete opposite of what I saw. And so I asked him to do a biopsy. I just kept advocating for myself. He told me to come back in 6 months if it changes in size or shape. And for me, that was way too long. So I just opted for the biopsy. And a week later, I was called and I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow. How important is early detection, Alina?
I'd have to say it's very important. It gives you about a 93% chance of, or higher survival rate in the first 5 years. I just made my 5-year cancerversary from my mastectomy. I haven't reached the 5-year from chemo yet, but we're working, to that. And I think that it just gives you a better chance of fighting, gives you more options with treatment, and it's the treatments have changed, and your oncologist will know best what treatment would be best for you, depending on whether or not you're estrogen, progesterone positive, or HER2 positive or negative. There's so many different types of breast cancer, and I think it's best if you're detected early to give yourself a full range of treatments available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, everyone, we're speaking with Alina Clavell, a breast cancer survivor working with the Susie G. Komen Foundation. And again, Alina, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story. It's a triumphant story. How did your medical condition affect your family? And how were you able to get through the treatments?
I think how I was able to get through the treatments, I had my dad and my tia were like my huge support system. My dad worked graveyard and was still able to be there every morning, almost every morning, to pick me up for treatment for my chemotherapy treatments. He wanted to be right there, and I just always felt the love and support from him. And I knew that he felt the fight with me, he went through it with me, and he felt my lows, he felt my highs. He was just always there to encourage me. Same with my tia. From the moment we found out it was definitely cancer, she's like a naturalist and a dietitian, so she gave me ways of teaching me how to help my body more naturally without, not with just Western medicine, but also to feed my body and my soul with things that is necessary. So I eliminated some things out of my diet, like dairy, soy, sugars, processed foods, and I actually felt a little bit more energy at the time, so it helped me get through a lot of my chemos. And just having my nurse family, I think that they were crucial. That was somewhere I ended up living for 6 months, and actually 8 months in total with the radiation. But your nurses staff become your family. You get to see them, and it's hard to actually say goodbye when it's all said and done, because it's like a new life, and you're just unsure of everything that's coming your way. But I know my family was affected, and because it's such a surprise, we don't have breast cancer in our family. It doesn't run. We don't have the BRCA gene 1 or 2. So it was just something very new for all of us. And then I understand, some of your family members will they don't know how to show support, or they're scared, and so they look the other way. And that is also, I think, very important for people to know if they're not a breast cancer patient. Of course, everyone is going to be different, but I think it's really important for you to reach out to the person that's going through this battle, because at the end of the day, they might need more support than you think they do. And it's better for them to tell you what they need than for you to assume and then they didn't get what they needed out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing that was really hard for me during my treatment, but I did have great support from my father, and without him, I have no idea how I would have gotten through it so well.
Okay. And what was your final treatment like?
My final treatment, that was, it was so exciting. It was so nerve-wracking. There was a whole bunch of emotion all at once. I like I just said, your nurse staff becomes your family, and to go from being at the hospital 2 times a week, for hours at a time, it just felt so weird to say goodbye, and like to not, you still want to see these people, but you know that the circumstance is so much better that you don't see these people. And, you know, to get to a 3 months, every 3 month checkup, or an every 6 month checkup, those are accomplishments. And it's just so sad, because you want to see these people because they've been supporting you through your lowest point. But they were there for a reason. And so I think that last chemo treatment was just exciting to get through, and to know that 6 months had been behind me, those 6 months, and I can just turn over a new leaf and figure out how to live my life accordingly.
Yeah. And again, we're speaking with Alina Clavel she's a breast cancer survivor representing the Susie G. Komen Foundation. Please, anyone that's out there, if you're listening, give whatever you can to Susie G. Komen Foundation. There's many places you can donate. I also have a fundraiser page up as well. If you go to the Susie G. Komen Foundation webpage, it's komen.org. Go to /Long Beach Joe. You can go there, give whatever you can to help breast cancer research, bring, again, the fight for breast cancer awareness, and bring the fight to breast cancer. Alina, can you tell us how you got involved with the Susie G. Komen Foundation?
Sure. I was actually at a women's health expo in Long Beach, and for my best friend's daughter's like dance recital, and she was with the Divas of Compton, and so they were performing there, and I happened to go downstairs, and I saw that there was a Susan G. Komen booth set up. So I just asked one of the women if she was a breast cancer survivor and how to get involved, and we sat and talked, and we exchanged numbers, and they invited me into the Circle of Promise.
That's a wonderful story there. What are some of the things that the Susie G. Komen Foundation offers the community?
So the Circle of Promise is geared towards African American women and men. It's to help empower like women and men, giving them the information and tools to take charge of their own health, and also serve as ambassadors and like reach out to people in their own local communities. And it's designed to help end breast cancer forever. So by giving more awareness, support, and empowerment and action. And one of the reasons why they did put this group together was because back in the 80s, breast cancer was about equal between white Americans and black Americans. And after 2001 to 2005, the African American ethnic group had actually increased 37% higher with their death rate. So they wanted to put something together that gears more to like giving knowledge and empowering other women, making them in charge of their own and advocate for themselves. You can't expect to get 100% the best care ever. You have to listen to your body. You have to know yourself, and advocate for yourself. I think that's like the biggest thing about it, breast cancer, is you have to advocate for yourself, and actually anything in general. Just your body, your life. You have to push if you know something's not right.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And those stats, wow. Wow, you're really bringing it home. You're really hitting home with me as well, because my family, I've also dealt with breast cancer in my family as well. I had a grandmother that dealt with it. I had other women in my family that dealt with it, and that's why, just speaking with you and hearing your story and hearing everything that you went through, and how you're working again with the Susie G. Komen Foundation to continue to bring awareness, that really hits me right in the heart. But so my final question for you is, how can our listeners get involved with the Circle of Promise? How can they help?
Okay. We actually, if you go to Susan G. Komen's website, I can give you the link. It's www.komen.org/get-involved/Circle of Promise. And there's actually a link there where you can give your information and get involved with the Circle of Promise, become an advocate. And there's also a couple other events that will be coming up. There's tomorrow night between 6 and 8 p.m. The Pink Ribbons Caring is a special TV event for Komen Treatment Assistance Program. It'll be on KCAL 9 and CBSN. And again, that's tomorrow night, October 3rd, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Wow.
And there's also one of our advocates, Lakeisha McGee. She's amazing. I met her last year at a panel. She's such a fighter, and she has written a book with 11 other breast cancer patients or survivors. There's also a male included, and you can purchase a copy of her book, which is called 12 Shades of Breast Cancer by Lakeisha McGee. And you can get that at www.lakeishamcgee.com, and it's spelled LakeishamCgee.com.
Well, thank you so much, Alina, for coming on and sharing everything, all the information that you shared about the Susie G. Komen Foundation, and also sharing your story with us. It was very brave of you. Thank you so much for educating us and bringing even more awareness to me and my listeners.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And can I say, for anybody that does want to reach out, if you're not comfortable like going through the foundation, if you'd like, my Instagram name is A Clavel, which is ACLA, V as in Victor, EL 85. My inbox is open for questions. If you just want to cry, if you just want to vent, or just want to talk to somebody that's gone through it, I'm open doors, open ears. And again, my handle is A Clavel 85 on Instagram.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Alina. And again, it's been a pleasure having you on. And I want you to have a good night.
Thank you as well.
Okay. Good night.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Wow. What a touching story from Alina. Again, Susie G. Komen Foundation, we're big supporters of that here. Big supporters of breast cancer awareness, bringing awareness to, those of you that may not know too much. Breast cancer, as she talked about as well, the stats, everything that's there, the numbers that are there really affects a lot of people. So again, any way that you can, please give the Susie G. Komen Foundation. I have it all over my social media. I have a link there as well. Again, if you go to komen.org/go/Long Beach Joe, there's a donation page. Please go there and donate anything that you can, $1, $2. It doesn't really matter. Every donation, big or small, matters. So please go there and give it everything that you can. Again, that goes directly to the Susie G. Komen Foundation. And it's just all about, fighting breast cancer, bringing the fight to breast cancer, fighting for breast cancer awareness, and also continuing to push forward in breast cancer research. So again, I want to thank her for coming on. Phenomenal to speak with her. So now that, we dealt with a very serious topic there, now we're going to go back and we're going to talk about this team. Now it's time to talk about the Jets. Oh boy. Oh boy, let me tell you something. This team is is a mess. We just couldn't get a W. We just could not get a W. Couldn't get it in. I got a bunch of callers on the line. My chat boys, I'm going to come to y'all in a second. But this was a tough loss. It was really a tough loss for me, especially when you're looking at this was a banged up Broncos team that did not have everyone that they needed to have to beat us at all. They were starting a guy that was a third string QB, okay? A third string QB in Ripon. He's chucking the ball around. We can't get to him soon enough, early enough. I mean, they were just kind of doing whatever. Pierre Desir getting beat consistently on defense. I mean, Patrick, a guy that I've never heard of, some big wide receiver just out there running. He's doing his thing. I mean, Desir got mossed by Jerry Jeudy, who I think is a phenomenal wide receiver, but he's a rookie. He's a young kid still trying to find his way, and he's able to make big plays over our corners. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. The defense heavily penalized as well. Big runs to Melvin Gordon, just giving up big plays left and right. The offense just couldn't get anything continuously going, especially in the red zone. We often stalled. It was bad. And it starts to bring you to a situation where you can't beat the Broncos. It's like, who can we beat? You know, it hurts a lot. So I'm going to get to the callers. My lines are stacked up. Callers, I'm going to come to you. Listen, everyone that's listening to the show, no matter where you're listening to me from, I greatly appreciate it. Do not call into my show cursing. I know this is a frustrating team to talk about right now. I understand we're all upset about this team. We're all upset about these losses that are piling up. We're all upset that Adam Gase is still the head coach. I think that's the biggest question is why is Adam Gase still our head coach? But do not call into the show cursing tonight. I'm going to get you out of here as soon as possible. So first call I'm going to go to is 904. 904, I'm coming to you. Let me know your thoughts on this game.
Hey, what's going on, Joe? First, I want to say thank you to your guest today, Melina. I'm so glad that you're a fighter and everything. To everyone who's listening, I hope you guys take a moment to hold your loved ones and cherish that moment you are with them. And also, you may not know if someone out there you know is affected with this, so definitely do your research. Always look out for the ones around you. I've experienced something similar to this. I've lost a very close person. My scoutmaster, actually, when I was in scouts, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and even though she beat it, she unfortunately it transitioned to a brain tumor, which it ended up spreading. So, like I said, thank you, Melina, for your story. It really opens my eyes and it makes me remember and cherish the ones that I have with me. And I'm definitely going to donate. Yeah. Thank you so much for supporting that, Joe.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for calling in. And again, I'm sorry for your loss, but thank you for sharing your story.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let's let you know.
All right.
Talking about the Jets, though.
Yeah.
Why is Adam Gase still our head coach?
So, because unfortunately, the truth is, the matter of the fact, the owner put his foot in his mouth. That's what he did. He straight up put his foot in his mouth. He came out in public. I'm pretty sure Joe Douglas didn't even know about that event that Christopher Johnson was going to do, and was probably listening on TV or the radio on the other side, thinking to himself, what kind of franchise did I just join? Mm-hmm. Did the owner really just do this on the second day with the team's record right now and talking about this coach? And now all these news, that's what's going on. They put their foot in their mouth. I mean, guys, come on. You saw this game today. Sam Darnold put the team on his shoulders. Yeah. I just cannot believe how this kid is still trying. When I saw his face after making that 40-yard run touchdown, I saw his face light up like a boy singing Christmas. Everyone was all of his players were gathering around him like, yeah, man, you're the MVP today. You're the guy today. And I guarantee you Sam Darnold probably would have been the player of the week had they won. But no, this ridiculous play calling and all this, and putting Becton out there when you know he's hurt.
Oh, man.
You know? I just...
Yeah,
why they're keeping him?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Just going to the Becton. I mean, listen, Gase, first off, the play calling, particularly in the red zone, was awful. That 2-point conversion play call was horrific. I don't know what this guy's thinking, and I don't understand what does he have to do to lose his job at this point. I mean, what does he have to do? We clearly can see that he is hindering this team. We clearly can see his play calls are hindering the offense. We clearly can see that his play calling, his horrific coaching is hindering Sam Darnold. It's like, what else does this guy have to do to lose his job? But you talked a little bit about it as Sam Darnold. First off, that slam, did you think that slam that Sam got, did you think that was a penalty? Because I kind of looked at it myself. And, yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
They're talking about us. They're talking about the Jets defense was beating up on the freaking quarterback. Well, where's our call? And I'm even more mad about Gates. Did you hear the conference when they asked him, Gates, how did you feel about that play on Darnold when they slammed him? I wasn't there. And I could. You really? If that was my quarterback, I would be out in the field screaming at the referee, you better do something or I'm going to hit that player myself.
Yeah. And now he's dealing with the sprained shoulder, the AC sprain on the shoulder. I'm thinking, I want to know from you, how do you think that they should move forward with that injury? Do you think they should maybe sit him a game and make sure that it's good to go, or do you think that they should just continue to play him with that sprained AC joint?
This is a good question right here, because now this is going to kind of implicate what the Jets may be doing here. If they decide to hold Sam Darnold off, people are going to question now. Are they trying to keep him healthy because they do believe he will be the future? He is coming back next year and they want to keep him as healthy as possible? Or will they play him knowing that he may not be 100% and they're just trying to show people hey, the game's got to go on. They're trying to show that Sam Darnold is worth a few picks or something. These are questions we need to understand, and we need to keep watching how Sam plays, because like I said, watching Sam take advantage of plays that are breaking up and he's just having to do it himself, he's trying to show this franchise and the fans the prediction on that.
Yeah. What were your thoughts about how heavily penalized the defense was? Because I've never seen they just played so undisciplined in this game. Am I correct?
Disappointing. It was very disappointing. I really thought after last game with the Colts that Greg Williams would have brought in some more fire and really brought it down on them. Desir, those 2 interceptions, yes, they brought a little jump back in, but if you look at the plays, they were throwaway balls, and Desir just got lucky to get them while he was in.
Yeah.
So I'm very disappointed in Greg Williams. Very.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, those Desir, like you said, those Desir interceptions, those were, especially the pick six that were able to get us back. But, I mean, he gave up big yardage. I'm talking big yardage to guys. He was getting beat constantly. Jerry Jeudy, the way that he was able to abuse Pierre Desir, and then Patrick, the way he was abused. But I want to get your thoughts on how we weren't able to get to ripping. We weren't able to put this guy in situations to make a ton of mistakes in this game. I mean, what were your thoughts about the way that we handled Rippin and how he was able to just chuck the ball around? I mean, he looked like the second coming of Joe Montana out there. He didn't look phased at all in his first start against us.
It's clearly, again, I brought this up last time when we talked right before the game, that this game is going to show us what kind of players we have and what they're trying to send a message. Mm-hmm. And clearly the players are saying this. They're saying we are not playing hard enough because we do not want to play under these people. Either we don't want to play under the coaching staff or we don't want to play under this franchise, because honestly, you compare this to last year, that should have been multiple sacks right there against this offensive line and against this quarterback. This is ridiculous. The pressure should have been 3 times as heavy, and it was hardly there.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, listen, man, I want to thank you for calling in. I'm gonna keep hitting these calls. This is a depressing time. This team is tough to root for, but I hope you have a good night, man, and thank you again for calling in.
Thank you, man. Go Jets, and keep supporting out those in need. Bless you, bro.
Yeah, thank you so much. You have a good night.
Good night.
What a call. I mean, he's clearly frustrated with the team the same way I am. It was a rough night. I mean, everyone knows I live stream during the games as well. And I mean, wow, it was tough. It was absolutely tough to watch this team play the way they played, the defensive penalties continuing to extend drives for them as well. That Jerry Jeudy touchdown came right after a defensive penalty that extended their drives and gave them a first down. I mean, it was insane. It was just insane to watch. And he touched on the Becton situation as well. The way it looked, Becton should have never been put on that field. He was not 100%. He wasn't even close. They ended up benching him anyway. He should have never have dressed. They should have allowed him to continue to heal that shoulder up and played him when he was ready. He should not have been put out there on the field. That's on the staff. I mean, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating to watch this team play the way that they have. But I'm going to keep going to the calls. 917, when I go back to the calls, you'll be the person I'm speaking to. I'm going to go to the chat really quickly because let me tell you, I mean, it's insane. A lot of people just are going off here in the chat. So first off in the chat, Jerry Johnson, salute to you, my man. Jerry Johnson says, defensive coaching problem. How many times do you let Desir get burnt before you take him out of the man-to-man? Yeah, it was just tough, man. It was so tough to watch him get cooked play after play after play. And again, these are guys that, some of these guys, Jerry Jeudy's a guy, of course, that's going to be in their starting lineup, but he was getting beat by guys that, were coming in and were dealing with injuries. He wasn't getting beat by the best of what they had. It's like, come on, man. You're getting beat by just guys. It's just insane. It's infuriating. Here's a guy that we signed to bring in to be our number one corner. It's like, come on, man. You've got to step up. I'm going to keep going to the chat. Brandon R. Turner says, I'm tired of fans saying that Sam has to step up. They want him to build a building with tape and gum. Salute to you, Brandon. I just don't understand what fans want Sam to do at this point. I just don't. I look at the situation. Listen, the kid got hurt. First off, he was getting hit all night. Balaj missed some blocks that got him sacked. The offensive line, especially after Becton went out, there was pressure all over the place. He used his feet many times to extend plays, get out of the pocket, get out of trouble, and move the chains or pick up a first down. But let me tell you something again. We don't have what's necessary to make sure that Sam is successful. We don't. Let's completely be honest here, okay? The protection is not there. The weapons clearly are not there. And the coaching is absolutely not there. And until you make a change, until you change what's happening and what's surrounding Sam, we'll continue to see the exact same results. You can't overcome everything. We've seen great players in this league struggle or have issues when one of those things is taken away. Imagine having none of those things. No protection, no weapons, no great coaching. I mean, it's just insane. And he's a young QB that's still trying to find his way as well. And we see the flashes. That 40-yard run was phenomenal. There were throws he made in the game that were phenomenal. Him after the slam, he goes into the locker room and comes out of the locker room. Grit. He fought. He said, I'm not just going to, be put in the locker room right now. You're not going to take me out of this game. I'm going to play. Comes right back out with the sprained AC joint and plays. There's so many players that would not have done that. There's so many players that would have packed it in, called it a night, and said, hey, you have a good one. I'm just going to sit down. No, he went out there and continued to fight for the team. So fans blaming Darnold, I don't know what to tell you, but I just understand that there's a segment of this fan base that is just going to scream for Trevor. They're just going to. There's nothing you can do. So it is what it is. Listen, I'm going to go back to the calls. Again, everyone, I know it's frustrating. This team is frustrating. I'm frustrated with this team. I'm completely frustrated with this team. I'm frustrated with ownership. This is on Chris Johnson as well. Chris Johnson, him and his idiotic brother, the two worst owners in all of sports. It's just ridiculous. They have no business owning the New York Jets. They have no clue what they're doing. They're completely incompetent. They make bonehead decisions. The fact that we even hired Adam Gase to begin with is ridiculous. And the fact that you will not get rid of him is even more ridiculous. If we could fire owners, they'd be gone immediately, but we can't. And that's what sucks. We just have to deal with this nonsense. It's just completely ridiculous. So I'm going to go back to the calls. 917, I'm coming to you. Let me know your thoughts about this game.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, man? It's Elias from Rochester.
Elias, how are you doing today, man? How's everything going with you?
That was brutal, man, to say the least.
Man, I'm telling you. So just to get started, bro, it was brutal. But what are your thoughts about Gaze still being the head coach of this team, even after what we saw, against the Broncos? I mean, what is it going to take for him to lose his job at this point?
They're clearly tanking. I really can't think of something else. Like, I think Douglas is trying to lose and trying to build up, maybe try to tear the team apart or something, man. That's the only thing I could think about.
I mean, I'm hoping that that's not what he's trying to do. I'm hoping that, they'll continue to build. But for you, it's like when you look at this situation and you're talking about the tanking and all those things, I mean, isn't Joe Douglas kind of to blame for this as well? Because of some of the signings that we've seen him make have not worked out, right? Pierre Desir not working out. Some of the guys he brought in, Van Roten was horrific last night. That's one of his signings. These guys are not working out. What are your thoughts on him, and how much of this blame lies directly is going to be lied directly in his lap as well?
I put a lot of blame on him. Like, he got Sam absolutely no weapons, and I find it hilarious that, in the One Jets Drive TV show thing, it says, how the whole thing about he told Sam's parents he'd get them weapons or whatever, and then it showed, clips of freaking Perryman and Frank Gore, wow, we got our QB some weapons, man. And then over there in Buffalo, they just, they got, a top 10 receiver, no big deal, and we got a guy with 5 good games in his career, and a running back who's 37 who Gase loves and just A-gap dives for days.
Oh, my God. That A-gap dive. Dude, I am so tired of that damn play. I am so tired of seeing that over and over and over again, bro. I want to jump off a bridge. I'm numb to
it by now, man.
I just want to jump off a bridge.
I'm used to it.
Dude, I can't take it. I know you're used to it, but man, I cannot take it. I cannot take it. I am so tired.
Man.
Say it again. What'd you say, Elias? Look.
I said I'm tired too, man.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of losing in this fashion. I'm tired of losing to teams that are banged up, that are not supposed to beat us the way that they're beating us. We gave up 37 points to the Broncos. 37
to an undrafted free agent, third-string quarterback.
Just embarrassing.
Man, I'm excited for next week. I got Kyler Murray on my fantasy team.
Oh my God!
My friend texted me, he said, "Is Kyler Murray untouchable on your team?" I said, "Yes, he's playing the Jets next week."
Oh my God! That takes me over to the defensive side of the ball with you. What were your thoughts about how heavily penalized they were and the penalties? How much they just extended these Broncos drives?
Dude, what the hell happened, man? This defense makes safety look like a premium position. Because without Jamal, they're lost.
Man, it was insane.
Seriously, man.
Yeah.
What, penalty literally every play.
Yeah.
It seemed every other, I think, it was like, you get a penalty, and you get a penalty, and you get a penalty, and you get a penalty. Like, that first plus on Austin pass interference, he was it ripping? He threw that ball way too high. I'm like, oh, this game's going to be a breeze. And then I saw the flag go down, saw the pass interference. I was like, oh, all right, one of these again. This should be fun.
It was insane to watch their drives be extended by our bonehead plays. And I mean, it was roughing the passer constantly, like you touched on as well. That Jerry Jeudy touchdown came off of a penalty. Right after that penalty, they launched that ball up and got
on his helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it got a score. I mean, it was just ridiculous. We were so undisciplined. I mean, Ogletree got a penalty. Even Quinnen Williams, which his roughing the passer, I was like, I was a little, kind of on the fence about that. I was thinking to myself,
how is
I
that roughing the passer when Sam didn't get a rough of the passer?
Exactly, but then he grabs the guy's helmet, the face mask. He extends a drive for them in.
Unacceptable.
It's just unacceptable stuff. It's unacceptable. And another player on the defense that was extremely unacceptable was Pierre Desir. The way he played, yes, he got a pick. He got two picks. Man. One was a pick six, but he gave up, I think, 138 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, what are your thoughts about the way he played, man?
Here's the reason I hate stats. Here's the reason I hate stats, because you look and he got 2 interceptions, but he gave up 400 yards, and like, yeah, he gave up a touchdown. I guess he redeemed himself by getting another one. Dude, he should be cut. This team's going nowhere. Give the young guy a shot. I don't know. Well, Austin's hurt now. What? You cut Harrison. Harrison's better than this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. But I'm gonna keep pushing, man. Keep going through these calls, man. I want to thank you for calling in, man. This is a tough time. Thank you for calling in and speaking to me about the Jets, bro.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Man, what a call. I mean, he's frustrated. All Jets fans are frustrated right now. We're all upset with what's going on out here. Again, why is Adam Gase the head coach of this football team? Why is he still here? What purpose does that serve? If anyone actually believes in their brain that getting rid of Adam Gase will hinder Sam Darnold, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that you I don't think you watch Jets games. If you think that getting rid of Adam Gase is going to hinder Sam Darnold, you don't watch Jets games. I'm absolutely convinced of that. That's just completely ridiculous. But I'm going to keep going to the callers, all right? But I got to get to my chat, guys. I got to get to them. Jerry Johnson in the chat says, at the end of the day, nothing gets better until we have competent coaching. Trevor, Sam, Jesus, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it won't. Until we have competent coaching, until we have a coach that understands how to utilize our offensive personnel, it's not going to work. Until we have a coach that understands how to scheme fit for the players that we have on the team, said and done, man. Until we have a coach that understands how to properly assess a critical moment and pull a victory out of the jaws of defeat, we're finished, man. We're finished. Keep continuing to go with the chat. Everything Jets says, so disappointed in this team, bro. Salute to you, Everything Jets. I'm disappointed as well, man. It's tough. It is tough being a Jets fan. I'm seeing it all across my timeline. I got other fans, of other teams making fun of me constantly. They're laughing at me, telling me, hey, it doesn't matter. Adam Gase is your coach. I can't wait to blow you out this year. I mean, I have other fans telling me that. They're in my timelines. They're in my DMs saying, hey, I can't wait to play to you. So-and-so is going to go to the Pro Bowl off your team. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this is all to blame on Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson, Woody Johnson, the Johnsons. You guys are to blame. You made these horrific decisions. You continue to make horrific decisions for this football team. And it continues to pan out the exact same way with the players and the fans paying for it. It's completely ridiculous. Brandon R. Turner in the chat says, why is Balaj in the game? Miss blocks and tackles on kickoff. Give Perrine the ball. I don't understand why we haven't given P. Ryan the ball yet. Why are we not feeding that kid more? Why are we feeding... and I love Frank Gore, but he's an old back. We need to get this young back in the game and get him reps, get his explosion into game, and give him time. What is the point? Why are we running plays for a 30-something-year-old running back? It's just, it's insane. It's Adam Gase. I can't take it. I'm going back to the callers. 516, I'm coming to you. Let me know your thoughts about this football team and this loss to the Broncos.
Well, first of all, I called you yesterday, and I was the one who was arguing for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I take that back. I'm sorry, man. I don't know where I was, but I was tripping. Because I watched that game yesterday, and I'm telling you, you were right. There's way more than just Sam. Yeah, I eat my words. You were right on that, man.
First off, I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, I'm down. The Jets have hurt me, and I, like I said, even when we were going back and forth, I understand why some fans have been led to believe that this is squarely on the shoulders of Sam Darnold. I understand it, but let me tell you, like you found out last night, there is way more going on this team than Darnold. There's this coaching is horrific, and so that's where I want to start with you. When you look at this situation, how is Gase not fired already? In your opinion,
there's only one
Go ahead.
There's only one plausible solution. They have to be tanking. Or they're either tanking or this is what I heard coming out of the Jets camp. They said the executives, I don't know, they said that they believe that firing Gase mid-season could potentially ruin the confidence of Sam Darnold and the rest of the team. I'm thinking to myself, what world are they living in? Like, no, I'm actually confused. I don't know how someone could be that deluded. Like it's ridiculous. Greg Williams should be embarrassed after what happened last night. Purposely roughing the passer? What? That's Bush League. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's Bush League.
Yeah. I mean,
if they were doing that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, continue. Sorry.
I mean, it's frustrating, and I get it. That was completely ridiculous, and either the defensive play calls, the fact that he was leaving, Pierre Desir that was out there getting beat consistently, that was ridiculous. The penalties, the undisciplined play, the penalties killed us, especially defensively. Just continuing to extend their drives, it hurt us so much. It was so bad. Just everything was just so bad. But one of the things that really pissed me off as well, going back to the offensive side of the ball, was the fact that they let Becton go out there with that shoulder injury, and then it seems like he aggravated it, possibly re-injured it, and now he's back. What are your thoughts, or back on the bench? What were your thoughts about the way that they handled Becton's shoulder injury?
Terrible. I don't get it. They've always had issues. Like last year, remember with Kalichi, Osemele, they said his injury wasn't that serious and that he didn't need surgery. And then what happened was he actually did need surgery. Remember that mess?
Yeah, I remember it. I mean, that's just a mess. And you know what's even crazy? The fallout from that is you're going to have a lot of players that aren't going to be willing to come here. Because, look, this is repeated stuff. You talked about the Kalichi Osemele. They didn't just do that. Joe Douglas also sent blank MRIs to his doctors as well. He came out and he talked about that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The handling of Becton's injury. Mind you, he's one of the brighter spots on offense. He's one of the kids that we're looking at right now. We're saying, it's insane. Why wouldn't you just sit him for a game and allow this kid to heal up if you know that shoulder's not right? He should have never dressed. He should have never been out there. It was just completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. I just don't understand. Go ahead.
The only reason I could think, because Becton, I mean, he's a monster. I'm telling you right now. He stabilizes that line. That line goes from below average with Becton out there, because it's still not good with Becton out there. Van Roten stinks. George Fant stinks. I knew George Fant stunk with the Seahawks. No. I don't even know why we signed him to the first place.
Oh my goodness.
There's a reason why Russell Wilson runs all over the place.
Yeah.
And we have 3 fifths. We have a really good left tackle, an okay left guard, Alex Lewis, and an okay center in Connor McGovern. But the right side is god-awful. And when you have 3/5 of an offensive line with a quarterback who is notorious for having bad footwork, it's just a mess.
It's a recipe for disaster. That's exactly what it is. It is a recipe for disaster. That offensive line, not just that, but a quarterback that has also had to deal with, especially last year, getting hit constantly. We talked about that too. Hell, that Patriots game, he talked about seeing ghosts. We understand, hey, we got a young QB. We're trying to mold him. We're trying to build him. We're trying to make sure he doesn't get shell-shocked and all those things. And now, he's got pressure in his face. And, I mean, even Balaj missed 2 blocks. One of them, oh, my God, I think it was a safety blitz that came down, and that safety just blasted Sam. Just unloaded on him. 47 for the Broncos, just unloaded on Sam.
Play P-Ron. I want to see P-Ron. I have no idea why they're not playing P-Ron. Frank Gore should be put in as like a power back on like 3rd and 3 or 2nd and 3 with that little A-gap run, which you mentioned earlier. They never do a run to the out. I've not seen one outside zone play yet out of this team. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
What are you running? What are you doing, Gase?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't get it, man. I just don't get it, but... Man, I want to thank you for calling in. You spit the fire, had a lot of great takes, man. You have a good night.
You too, Joe.
All right, you have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Man, what a call. Every fan is frustrated. We're all frustrated. This team is caca. Just, man, I can't deal with this team right now. We allowed the Broncos, a third string undrafted quarterback, came in, chucked the ball around, and put up 37 points on us. Wow. Just wow. That's all I can say. I'm gonna get back to the callers, 347 when I get back. I'll be talking to you, also followed by 845 and 984. But listen, I'm going to get to this chat because the Savages in the chat, they're going crazy. So I got to talk to them. Vincent in the chat says, top 3 worst things last night. 1, playing Becton. Yes, that was very bad, Vincent. He should not have played. 2, was leaving Darnold in. I mean, Darnold came back with that shoulder stuff. But 3 was the personal fouls. Oh, my God. The personal fouls. The penalties, I mean, just inexcusable stuff. And the thing about it is, we're not good enough to overcome that stuff. We're not a good football team. We're not the Saints. We're not, any of those other teams out here that are built well enough to say, okay, 1, 2 penalties, 3 penalties, we can overcome that because we have the offensive personnel. Hell, even those teams go, hey, we don't want to be penalized at all. It doesn't matter. We want to play clean. We go out here and give up almost 100+ yards in penalties. It's just ridiculous. And so many of those penalties came at just times when it was critical. We should have got them off the field. And we couldn't do it because it was a roughing the passer, a pass interference, just some type of personal foul, just completely ridiculous. Vincent says, I'm so over Frank Gore in this nonsense. No disrespect to him. Yeah, I just don't understand. We need to be feeding Pirine at this point. Why is this kid not getting more snaps? Why is he not getting any more opportunities? Going back to the chat, everything Jet says, that wheel route in the red zone was horrific. If you swapped roles of Ballage and Gore in pass pro, might have worked out different. Yeah, listen, everything you just said was factual. That wheel route was terrible. It was terrible, but that's Adam Gaze's red zone play calling. It's been bad. That's why we're so bad. That's why we can't score points. It's just completely ridiculous. I'm going to go back to the callers. 347, I'm coming to you. Let me know your thoughts on this game.
Joe.
How's it going?
Great to hear from you. Second day in a row.
Oh,
well, again.
Thank you for calling in, man. Listen, this is tough. This situation is tough. This team losing to the Broncos, it's terrible. But let me get your thoughts on this. The defense, the defensive penalties, man. How did you feel about them?
Well, I mean, apparently Greg Williams is doing the bounty gate again, but he's doing it the other way. So I guess he said extend plays instead of stop them. So, I mean, all jokes aside, though, that was the most undisciplined defense that I've ever seen Greg Williams put on the field. He must be overly embarrassed about the performance yesterday. And, like, when they called Quinnen Williams for roughing the passer, I thought that was a little BS call. But, I mean, everything else is like, why do you guys insist on doing these silly, stupid penalties that are so avoidable if you're trying to win a football game? Why? Just made no sense.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. We just got in our way on so many drives. It was ridiculous. But I also want to get your thoughts on the play of Pierre Desir. I mean, that guy, just 138 yards and 2 touchdowns he gave up. It's just ridiculous, right?
D. Millinger was somewhere laughing, saying, remember when I was that guy? So, I mean, he had the 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
The first one was a gift because Brett Rippon didn't know that you could just throw the ball out of bounds, I guess.
Yeah.
So he got gifted that one, and I'm going to give him his props because he hung in there. He did the whole on the tiptoes to keep the ball in.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's like, okay, it's like, you did that, and then you just gave away the game on the other end.
Yeah.
It just made, after a while, shouldn't it have dawned on Greg Williams to say, maybe we should put somebody else to D up for that guy, because clearly he's not working out. Like, why? What is it that we're watching, the whole nation is watching, anybody who's ever seen the Little Giants is watching, that these guys aren't seeing on the field, that they're like, you know what, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. It's going to eventually work, I swear.
It's just absolutely crazy. I just don't understand it at all. And I want to go to the offensive side of the ball with you. What are your thoughts about the handling of Becton's shoulder injury? I mean, he shouldn't have been out there playing at all, right?
Okay. We've played 4 weeks of football, okay?
Yeah.
First week, Le'Veon Bell, hamstring problem. Shouldn't be playing, let's put him on the field. Becton, shouldn't have been playing yesterday, let's put him on the field. Sam Darnold gets slammed down like it's an XFL game. Leaves with his arm hanging that I thought he had a broken collarbone.
Yeah,
and then they put him back on the field. Mm-hmm. And now Gase is talking about how he could be out for 3 or 4 weeks. So why did you let him continue playing? But the question's about Becton. The guy was our number 1 draft pick in the first round this year. Okay? And when he was told, when he said he wasn't going to dress or he couldn't play, you should have left it that way. When the other guy got hurt, you can't ask a football player, are you good? Because, of course, they're going to say, I'm good.
Yeah.
You have to make the decision as a head coach, not stay there with your head stuck on your little plastic paper that has done nothing for you since you've been here. And I'm talking about Gase on that one.
Yeah.
That was an internal call.
Yeah.
And if Sam Darnold now has to sit out for 2, even 1 week, that right there should be enough to say you're fired.
Yeah.
What else do you have to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the big question for me is at this point, what else does he have to do to get fired? I mean, anyone trying to convince me that it's a hindrance to Sam Darnold to fire this guy during the season is ridiculous. I just that excuse is so ridiculous. It's almost like you're telling you're telling me I'm stupid. You're almost trying to feed into the fact that you think I'm unintelligent. Like I don't watch the games. Like I'm not seeing what's going on out here. I'm seeing the fact that Adam Gase is the problem. He's the problem. He's the reason why guys aren't being put in positions to be successful offensively. He's the reason why Sam Darnold has struggled. His play calling, the system, it does not fit him, and he's doing nothing to help Sam whatsoever.
At all. And it's a shame because what it's going to take for people like Adam Gase to stop being head coaches of football teams is for Christopher Johnson and his brother to stop buying football teams.
Yeah.
Because it's clear that the Jets is not really about winning culture. They're more about we need to control the guy that runs the team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I want to say before I go, I want to say, I know you always appreciate us for coming, calling, chatting, doing all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say I appreciate you because you live out in Los Angeles where you could have been cheering for a much better football team, but you decided to cheer for this one.
Well, again, thank you for calling in, and thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I picked him, so I'm sticking with him. But let me tell you, it's tough. It is tough, especially all the way out here. Because, oh, man, let me tell you, people try to rip me apart when they see me in that green. And I just have to deal with it. Because, like you said, there are much better football teams to root for out here. Oh, it's so tough.
And one last thing. I just want you to investigate for me if we possibly hired the Chargers team doctor. Because that's the only way that these guys are being allowed to go out on the field. So,
Oh man, I don't know, man, but I want to thank you for calling in, man. You have a good night.
you have a great night, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Oh man, what a call! He called in, had a lot of fire. Man, it's tough, man. It is really tough being a Jets fan right now with this team looking the way that it's looking. It's just, I'm gonna go to the chat really quickly. Chat boys, I'm coming to you. We're gonna cover some of the things you folks are talking about in the chat. Will in the chat, yo, salute to you, Will. Will says, Gaze needs to be relieved and take his Gaze players with him. Trash. Will also says, Chris Johnson is hurting his team more than Gaze. This should be an easy decision. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It's completely mind-boggling that Chris Johnson won't step up and put all his ego aside or whatever it is. Just put it aside and help this football team. Help it. And you can help them by getting rid of Adam Gaze. Point blank, period. It's completely ridiculous. So we'll continue on with the calls. 845, I'm coming to you. Let me know what you think about this football team, the way they're playing, the loss to the Broncos. Let's talk about it.
Hey, Joe, man, big fan. My name is CT, and I'm down here in Florida. But I'm a Jets fan, man. And I think that right now it's tough being a Jets fan. I know I'm going to go over here and join the therapy session. Yeah. I want people to have hope, though. I know it's really bleak to say that right now, but it's – I mean, right now I think the problem is beyond just the coach. I think it's beyond just the players. I feel like there's a issue with the heart of the team because there's physical ability on the team. You see Sam. I actually do kind of like Pierre Desir. He was in place to make that pick. He just got lost by Jerry Jeudy, but he was in the spot to make the play. There are bright spots here and there with Becton, of course. We have Le'Veon Bell. I think there's a heart problem. I think that some of that left when Jamal left the team. Maybe Le'Veon would have been that this year as a young guy on the team that with some heart and like as a leader to get people riled up and want to play. But I don't see that in our team right now. I don't see that. I don't see anybody that really wants to win. And that's something that speaks to not only that does speak to the coach because the coach has to instill some kind of heart in the team to want to go out there and battle. Because I'm sure that the other guys on the other side of the team, the other team is going to have people over there rallying up the guys to go to war. So when you have Gates there, who's an offensive guru. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about that, but I do see that there are plays he's dialing up that guys are open. So I don't think that he has the mindset of a head coach. Maybe he's more like an offensive coordinator, but a guy we need a coach that's gonna rile the guys want to fight for. Mm-hmm. And he's definitely not that guy. He has an attitude. He has an arrogance about him. You don't want to go to work and work for the guy. Yeah. So that goes to speak to the head offense as well. If they're coming with a holier than thou attitude, which they always have, and talking down on the players, you're not going to want to go in and fight for the team. So somebody has to come in, whether it's a player, coach, or somebody in the staff to say, hey, guys, we're going to have your back, and we're going to go out there and fight day in, day out, that they want to root for, that they want to say, you know what, I'm excited to come in here and be a Jet, put on this helmet, wear the green and white, and get out there and play my best football, regardless of who was on our squad. Play my best football because clearly right now they're not. They're undisciplined. Mm-hmm. The offense obviously is just not clicking, there's injuries. So
Well, first off, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But first off, I want to thank you for calling in. You're spitting a lot of knowledge right now. Listen, I hear what you're saying. You started off with the Jamal stuff, him being gone. The leadership is gone. But like you said as well, and that was going to be my main point was, look, Jamal's gone, but there's other guys in this locker room though. It's not just Jamal. We have team captains, guys like Fant, Sam's there. Like you said, Le'Veon Bell, he's hurt. He's not playing right now, but he's still in the facility. He could be there talking to the guys, yelling. And again, a lot of that falls squarely on the shoulders of the coach. The head coach should be the rah-rah guy. When you look at the Patriots, right? And we all hate them. We all do. All right. I respect them, but I do hate them. They're in the division. They've been dominating for a long time. Guess who sets the tone there? Guess who sets the tone for the culture? It's the coaching. It's Belichick. Period. Right?
Yeah.
Player, no matter what player they get, no matter what player they lose, right? Who sets the tone there? Belichick. He's the guy saying, listen, you need to be ready for this game. He's the guy coaching those guys up. He's the guy firing those guys up. You look at when they played us last year, Well, he was in the sidelines. He was in those guys' ears. Listen, when I call this play, you just better go. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do. Those guys were running through brick walls for him. So, look, I get it. Jamal's gone. I get that. But guess what? There were some issues with Jamal, too. He clearly did not want to be here either. That's neither here nor there. But the coaching must step up. Point blank, period. Yeah, the coaching's got to step up. I agree with you. Yeah, and the play calling, listen, the play calling for me, when I watch Adam Gase call plays throughout this game, they're horrific. They're horrific. The way that he set Sam up, he's not setting Sam up for success, excuse me. For instance, let's look at that play call in that 2-point conversion. That was terrible. It was terrible. And that's at a critical time during the game. We're trying to tie the game. We've had issues scoring all game. We got gifted a pick six, right? We've had issues, particularly, especially in the red zone again because of the play calling, the dives, the running back dives that he loves to call, these same bubble screens he loves to call. We're struggling, and the numbers show it. You watch the game, you can see that as well. So now here you are in a critical point in the game. You're supposed to be an offensive guru. That is your title. Okay, you're an offensive guru. That's what you were brought in here for, because you're supposed to understand offense. You were called a brilliant offensive mind by the owner of the Jets. Here is a critical point in the game where we need 2 points. Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, Sean McVay. Do you think they would have drawn up and called a play like that for a 2-point conversion? No, they would not have done that. They wouldn't have done it. The same issue that we had against the Niners. 4th and 7, you kick a field goal. They ask you why. You tell us you don't have a play called up that you think can get you 7 yards against that defense. Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Sean Payton, Doug Peterson. Do you think any offensive mind in the league would have said that? No, they would not have said that. That's why, and I can continue. We can go down the street of last year. There were games where he would make bonehead play calls, bonehead decisions that would cost us games. I don't believe in his play calling, and like you said as well, I don't believe in him as a head coach either. We should have never have hired him at all. That offensive guru tag, I understand that there's injuries, and you talked about those as well. Yeah. I watched Doug Peterson take an Eagle squad that was missing all of its starting wide receiver core. All of them. They were all hurt. All of them. And he had guys that were not starting on his offensive line either that were playing. Guys that he had gotten like the week of or a week before. And he was going in and beating teams with those guys. And not bums. He was beating really good teams because he would fit his offensive scheme and personnel, or he would fit his offensive scheme to the personnel that he had, and he would win games that way. He would out-scheme people. Injuries happen in the NFL. It just is what it is. Look at what Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. If he was just packed it in once Wentz went down, they wouldn't have did that. He continued to play. He changed his offensive scheme to fit Foles and his skill set and what he did well. Guess what? They got themselves a ring because of it. We've seen the Patriots do the same thing constantly.
You're right.
So it's like he's got to go.
We need an identity.
Yeah, and then that's the main problem. Like you said, dude, you're hitting the nail on the head. We need an identity. You know what the problem is? Adam Gase's offense doesn't have an identity. I told people this when we first hired him. And I'm not just saying that myself. There were Dolphins players that used to say that. Jawan James, a veteran tackle that used to play with Adam Gase as a head coach, came out in an interview right before he got fired from the Dolphins and told the media the problem is we don't have an identity offensively. This is a offensive tackle telling the media this. We do not have an identity offensively, so when things don't go well for us, we don't know what to go back to. We don't have anything that we can hang our hats on. That's the same issues we have in here.
But I do think we have the right quarterback.
Yeah,
I will say we do have the right quarterback. I believe Sam
is
very young, and he shows. No, I think Sam is very young and he has spots of brilliance. So I want to give the fans some hope in that I think we have found the guy.
Yeah.
I think if we get the first pick or second pick, we trade down, get Jamar Chase next year, and get him some weapons, get them play. People forget this is a team sport. You can't just say there's one guy that's going to change the whole franchise.
Yeah.
But I do believe that Sam has been better than Geno Smith or Mark Sanchez or honestly, I think he has a bright future. I think if he were to leave the team, he'll ball out somewhere else, honestly.
Yeah.
But going forward, I know it's tough being a Jets fan, man. I want people to – it's going to be a tough year. Don't get me wrong. But we got to look at the bright spots that we're seeing. But,
I hear you, man. But, it's tough, bro. It is tough.
Just hold on to the single players we can build one for the future.
Yeah, yeah. And so my next question for you, I know we're talking about, Adam Gase, and we talked about the offense, but what were your thoughts about the handling of Becton's injury? I mean, that shoulder, he should have never been out there playing, right?
You're right. Honestly, I think that's another problem with the team. Like our training staff, we have like Kelechi last year. The last caller brought up a great point that Le'Veon was put back in the game earlier this year. And now we have Becton situation and even the Sam situation. I think that if you're not saying, hey guys, we're actually going to take care of you and save you from yourself, that's another thing where people say, hey man, the whole squad's getting injured. They really don't care about us. They just want us to win games so Gase doesn't get fired. Yeah. And then they start talking and, they don't really want to go out there and play. So that's another thing. The staff that's like, training these guys or the coaches need to be like, hey, we need to be able to protect our guys from themselves. It's like common sense, but especially when you're 0-3, like at this point and your team is trash, like just let them sit out and save them, don't beat them up.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. We'll see how they handle Sam Darnold's shoulder going forward. I mean, I don't want them putting that guy back out there if he's not ready. There's no reason to aggravate that AC sprain either. You know what I'm saying?
They could ruin his career.
Yeah, it could. So, but man, I want to thank you for calling in, man. Next time I do my show, bro, I would like to hear from you. You're a great caller. You had a lot of fire takes.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I love the show, man. To keep doing your thing.
All right, thank you so much. You have a good night, man.
Peace.
Oh, what a great caller. I mean, had a lot of great takes. I'm just, this Adam Gase, he's gonna drive me crazy, bro. I'm gonna lose my mind. If I go insane, it's gonna be because of Gase. I'm telling you, it's gonna be because of Gase. I don't understand it. I don't understand how he's still here. I don't understand how we're even thinking about this guy continuing to be the head coach of the Jets. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't understand how we're looking at a situation where he is literally hindering the future of our franchise. He's putting us in a situation where, oh my God, where we're struggling offensively. We are literally struggling. We had the worst offense last year. Statistically, and if you watch the games, we were horrific. It wasn't even close. We were terrible. We were terrible offensively. And then we come in here and we're just as bad as we were last year. It's the same thing. I know my lines are on fire right now. I'll come back to the callers. 984, when I come back, you'll be first up. I'm going to go back to the chat because the Savages are just going ham right now. Salute to FM. People telling me they love me in the chat. I love you folks as well. I want to thank everybody for listening to me or watching me, no matter where you're watching or listening from. I really appreciate it. It's a tough time here. Really tough time. Vincent in the chat says, our punter had the best tackle of the night. Man needs to go to defense to show these boys how to tackle. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, man did save. He saved that. He saved that run back because that guy was definitely going back to the house off that return. He was definitely going to score a TD. Thank goodness our punter grabbed him and was able to bring him down. Because let me tell you, the defense, they just couldn't tackle anybody. They could not stop anybody. It was insane, man. Insane. And I'm going to go back to the callers. I mean, wow. Go back to the callers. 984, I'm coming to you. Let me know your thoughts on this game and how you're feeling right now as a Jets fan. 984, it's on you. Hello? I guess 984, he's so upset as well. He's saying, hey, I'm so upset, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it all. He's ready to go as well. He's upset. He's tired of it. He has no words. He has no words for Gaze. He was so mad. Everyone is so mad they're calling in. They don't even know what to say. They're just beside themselves. They just want to remain silent because they're so upset about the New York Jets and the way that Adam Gase is coaching. And the fact that Christopher Johnson will not make a change. He will not make a change as far as coaching is ridiculous. And the excuses are even more ridiculous. I don't want to hinder Sam Darnold's. I don't want to hinder Sam Darnold. Be more of a hindrance to Darnold and his growth. Please stop. Please stop. You not getting a real offensive mind in here. You not getting a real head coach in here. You not getting someone that can understand how to really better a young quarterback's skill and skill set. That's what's hindering Sam Darnold. That's what's hindering the team. Gonna go back to the chat. Juan Gotti, talking sports. Yo, salute to you, Juan Gotti. Juan Gotti says, the Jets stink. Yeah, they do. They do, Juan. We just got beat by a team. Oh, my goodness. We just got beat by a team that was banged up with a third-string undrafted quarterback that came in and just whipped the ball around. Simply Awesome says, the offensive guru ran the ball on 2nd and 30. You know, he's done stuff like that before. He's done stuff like that before. It's just insane, man. It's just absolutely insane. Just don't understand it. Just absolutely don't understand it. Mr. Green in the chat says, bro, how is Adam still here? I just don't understand it. Like, is there anything the Jets fans can do? You know, the Johnsons don't want to do anything. They sure don't. Because if they did, this wouldn't be happening. Chris Johnson has got to use his brain. Make a change. Make a change, man. It's completely ridiculous. I'm so frustrated. The future of this football team is really, it's hanging in the balance. And you got a clown at the head of it. And you got clowns running the show as well in ownership. Our ownership is horrific. Completely terrible. So with that said, folks, come to the end of the show. I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook. Type in Long Beach Joe. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, give me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000 or 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will troll you right back as well. And I'll have my Darnold jersey on. Hopefully they let him heal up before they shove him back into a game and really risk him getting injured even more than he already is. You can also follow the show's Twitter as well on Twitter at The Long Beach Joe. I follow right back. We can go back and forth, talk about football. Talk to me, I'll talk right back. I'm also on YouTube as well at Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets. Subscribe to my content on there as well. I make videos, talk about the Jets, live stream through there as well. You can beat the live stream through there. You want to troll me on there as well, I'll troll you right back. I love going back and forth with folks on there. And there's always people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs. It's a tough time, man. It's so tough being a Jets fan right now. But the hugs will remain free. They will. I mean, we need hugs in these times. I'm also, again, a big supporter, Susie G. Komen Foundation. I want to thank Alina Clayville for coming on, sharing her story with us. Also, bringing awareness to breast cancer as well. And again, anyone, please go support the Susie G. Komen Foundation. If you go on the Susie G. Komen Foundation, type in the lacounty.info/komen.org/go/Long Beach Joe. It's also plastered all over my social media everywhere. Please donate if you can. Any donation that you can give, big, small, doesn't matter. It's all appreciated. We got to get in this fight against breast cancer, fight for breast cancer awareness, fight for breast cancer research. So I want to thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good one. Oh, man. I want to thank you folks, everyone that called in, that listened. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I also want to thank everyone that's watching, no matter where you're watching me from. I want to thank everybody as well for donating. If you haven't donated and you want the link directly, there's my link. It's in, if you type in !Coleman in the link, it'll come up. Also, if this is your first time watching me, if you type in !Links, lowercase links with an S, it also bring up my the links to all of my YouTube, social media, all that stuff, my Twitch page as well. You can follow me through all of those mediums. It's really tough being a Jets fan. It's tough being a fan of this team, man. It is really tough. But everyone again that donated to me, thank you so much. Everyone that donated to my fundraiser page, Susie G. Komen, I really, really appreciate it. No matter how big or small the donation, it really goes a long way. Again, that money goes directly to the Susie G. Komen Foundation. I donated quite a bit myself as well. I've met my goal. I want to continue pushing. Please continue to donate if you can. Whatever you can give. Whatever you can give. I truly appreciate it. This team is really taking me down the road. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's tough, man. It is tough being a fan of this team. I'm going to go to the chat really quickly. Jerry Johnson says it's salmon, not pink, bro. Real men wear pink, But salute to you, Jerry. Tyler Manley says, you the man. Yo, you the man, Tyler. You the man. Phoenix Flight. Yo, salute to you, Phoenix Flight. He says hot magenta. Yeah, I'm rocking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking it. I'm supporting. Fight against breast cancer. Please, everyone, again, thank you for donating, and please continue to donate if you can. $1, $2. It's all welcomed and appreciated. Thank you. Tyler Manley says, Joe, the Bills welcome you with open arms. Tyler, salute to you. I respect you. I respect your Bill fandom, but I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose it. But I'm going to go ahead and go and end the stream. I'll be streaming again on Tuesday. I'm going to have another live show as well. I'm going to talk to some people. We got another, breast cancer awareness person coming on as well. They're going to speak to us. Something I really love and enjoy doing. I see, I got some callers as well that loved and enjoyed it. So, I'm just going to continue to spread awareness, you know what I'm saying, and continue to do what I can, in my part in my fight against breast cancer. So, again, I want to thank everyone for watching. You folks are the absolute greatest. Again, I'll be back Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking about this team, I guess. We'll be talking about this team and, doing what we can. So I'm going to be playing video games with you folks soon. You know what I'm saying? We'll be playing games soon. I know, a lot of people saying, hey, Joe, come on, we want to play games with you. We will. But, this is tough, man. It's really tough. But I got a lot of stuff I got to do for the stream. So, again, I want to thank all you folks for watching. You folks are the absolute greatest. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for interacting with me as well on my social media, wherever you do. So, I want to thank you folks again. You folks have a good one.